My father left me the house, but my sister thinks it belongs to her. When my father passed away last October, I thought the hardest part would be the grief. I was wrong. The real nightmare started when the will was read. For context, I, 33M, was always the quiet one in the family. My sister, Angela, 36F, was the golden child. Beautiful, smart, confident, and manipulative as hell, though our parents never seemed to notice that last part. She always got what she wanted. Growing up, I learned that it was better to just avoid confrontation and give her what she demanded. Easier that way. But my father wasn't blind. Not completely. When he got sick with cancer, I was the one who took care of him. I moved back into his house, our childhood home, and became his full-time caregiver for almost a year. Angela visited maybe 4 times. Each time she brought wine and left early. I don't blame her entirely. She had kids, a job, a husband. But she didn't lift a finger to help. Not even financially. I had to quit my job. I burned through my savings. The last few months of Dad's life were brutal. I won't go into detail, but cancer is a cruel, undignified death. When he finally passed, I was numb. I didn't cry. I didn't feel anything. Just this quiet emptiness that stuck to me like tar. Then came the reading of the will. Angela showed up wearing black like she was on a movie set. Her husband stayed in the car. The lawyer read the usual formalities. Then he got to the part about the house. Dad had left it entirely to me. Not split. Not shared. 100% mine. Angela blinked. What? The lawyer repeated it. She laughed, that high-pitched fake laugh she uses when she's uncomfortable. That has to be a mistake. I mean, we're both his kids. He wouldn't just give it all to you. The lawyer showed her the signed page. Dated. Notarized. Clear as daylight. Angela turned to me, smiling like a shark. You're not really going to keep the whole house, are you? I didn't answer. That was 8 months ago. At first, she called me every day. Told me she needed the money from the house. Claimed she was struggling. Said her kids were going to get kicked out of their private school if I didn't sell and split the proceeds like a normal sibling would. I said no. She exploded. Called me selfish. Told me Dad always loved her more and that I had manipulated him at the end when he was too weak to think clearly. She said I isolated him. That I poisoned him against her. That's when I blocked her. A month later, she showed up at the house. I was repainting the living room. She banged on the door until my hands shook. I opened it, stupidly. She pushed past me and started walking around like she owned the place. Said things like, I always loved this fireplace, and this would be perfect for the twins' piano lessons. I told her to leave. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, you don't deserve this house. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because if I didn't laugh, I would have screamed. I told her to get out or I'd call the police. She said, if you want a war, you've got one. Then came the legal threats. She hired a lawyer. Claimed undue influence. Said I'd forced our father to change the will when he wasn't mentally sound. Fortunately, Dad had anticipated this. He'd recorded a video 2 weeks before he died, explaining why he made the decision. He said, Angela, if you're watching this, I'm sorry you feel hurt. But this house is going to your brother because he was here. He took care of me. He gave up his life to keep me comfortable. You didn't. This isn't punishment. It's acknowledgement. Her case fell apart after that. But she didn't stop. She started spreading rumors, told our extended family that I manipulated a dying man and kicked her out of her birthright. Some people believed her. Others stayed neutral. A few reached out to tell me they were proud of me. Then came the vandalism. One morning I found my car's windshield smashed. On the driveway, in red spray paint, someone had written, "Thief." No proof it was her, of course. No cameras. Police took a report but nothing came of it. A week later, my mailbox was torn off the post. Another week, and my dog, an old lab mix named Toby, got violently ill. I rushed him to the vet. They said he'd ingested something toxic. I started sleeping with a bat next to my bed. A month ago, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Angela's husband. He sounded tired. Defeated. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know how far she'd go. I'm trying to get her into therapy." I didn't say anything. Then he added, "She's not well. She's obsessed. It's like she needs to win, even if it destroys her." I hung up. Last week, I found a note taped to my front door. It said, "You don't get to erase me. I will always be part of this house. You can't change that." That night, I stood in the kitchen, holding the note, and remembered Dad sitting at that same table, coughing blood into a napkin, trying to smile at me while I made soup. This house is mine. But more than that, it's the place I watched my father die. Where I listened to his last breath. Where I cleaned up his pain and tried to give him peace. No amount of bricks or walls or inheritance can explain that. Angela may have lost the house, but I lost my peace. People ask why I don't sell and move somewhere else. Believe me, I've thought about it. But some days, I sit on the porch, drink coffee, and feel the wind in the same way Dad used to. I hear the creak of the floorboards and remember the sound of his laugh. I smell the old wood and I swear I can still hear him walking down the hallway. This house isn't a prize. It's a grave. But it's mine. And I'm not giving it up. Update, 1 week later. Angela showed up again. This time with a priest. Yes. An actual priest. She stood in my driveway and shouted that she was here to exorcise the spirit of injustice. I didn't even go outside. I called the police. She left before they arrived. Later, her husband texted me, "I'm filing for divorce. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry." Part of me feels bad for her. But most of me just wants peace. Maybe I'll get there someday. She tried to sue me, again. This time, it got dark. It's been a few weeks since my last post. I thought things had finally calmed down. I was wrong. After her bizarre stunt with the priest in my driveway, Angela went silent. Completely. No texts. No phone calls. No smashed windows or cryptic notes. Nothing. For a moment, I felt relief. Then the certified letter arrived. Another lawsuit. This time she wasn't challenging the will, that was already dead and buried. No, this time she filed a wrongful eviction claim, saying I had illegally locked her out of her rightful home and denied her access to inherited property. It was absurd. Legally, she had zero claim to the house. But it didn't matter. She knew what she was doing. She wasn't trying to win. She was trying to drain me. I had to hire a lawyer again. More money. More stress. More hours sitting in a cold office explaining how my sister was slowly unraveling and trying to take me down with her. My lawyer asked, "Has she ever been diagnosed with anything?" I said, "No. But I think she should be." At the first court date, she showed up wearing a black dress again. Like she was mourning. This time, she brought photos, old pictures of her and Dad in the living room. Her with him in the backyard. Her at age 9, hugging him in front of the fireplace. She handed them to the judge like they were evidence of ownership. When my lawyer asked what they proved, she said, that this house was just as much mine as his. I'll never forget the look on the judge's face. Equal parts pity and frustration. Needless to say, the case was thrown out. But again, that wasn't the point. The point was to rattle me. And it worked. I stopped sleeping. I kept checking the locks 3 times a night. I started getting stomach ulcers. My doctor told me to reduce stress. I laughed out loud in his office. Then came the worst part. Angela showed up at Dad's grave. There's a small cemetery about 20 minutes from the house. Quiet. Peaceful. I go there maybe once a month just to sit and talk to him, even if no one's listening. But that morning, someone left something there. A wreath. Black roses. Artificial. And a sign that said, "This is where thieves belong." The caretaker told me Angela had been by the day before. He didn't know the context. I was so angry I felt sick. It wasn't just petty anymore. It was vindictive. Deep. Personal. She wasn't just trying to take the house. She wanted to erase me. Humiliate me. Make me doubt I ever belonged here. I didn't respond. Didn't text. Didn't call. But I started documenting everything, just in case. Photos. Videos. Audio logs. I wanted a paper trail. Not just for court. For me. To stay sane. Then the big twist came. About a week ago, I got a message from a woman named Elena. She said she used to work with Angela. HR manager at a company Angela had left a few months back. She started off polite, then said, "I hope this isn't overstepping, but I wanted to warn you. Your sister forged some documents before she quit. Got caught. Denied everything. But it was bad. There's a record." I asked her why she was telling me this. She said, "Because I lost my mom to someone just like her. And I see the signs. Just, be careful." I almost cried reading that. It all started to click. Angela wasn't just bitter. She was broken. And dangerous. I finally decided to file for a restraining order. It took everything in me. I felt like I was betraying my own family. But at this point, she wasn't a sister. She was a threat. The court date is next month. I don't know what she'll do. Part of me hopes she doesn't show up. Another part knows she will, in some dramatic outfit, with some delusional speech, trying to convince the judge that I'm the villain in her tragic opera. I'm tired, Reddit. So damn tired. But I'm not giving up. Last night, something happened that nearly broke me. I was sitting on the porch with Toby, he's still hanging in there, old, but loyal. I heard a sound in the backyard. Went to check. There was a fire. Someone had lit a small flame by the tool shed. It didn't catch, thank God, but it scorched the edge of the grass. Police came. I filed the report. No proof it was her. But come on. I've lived here for over a year without a single issue, until she lost the will. I've started packing some things. Not because I'm leaving, not yet. But because I'm learning that peace isn't always about staying put. Sometimes peace means letting go of the ghosts. Even the ones you once loved. Final thought for now. If you're dealing with a toxic family member, I want you to know, you're not weak for creating boundaries. You're not cruel for choosing your sanity over shared blood. You're not selfish for protecting your peace. Some people are broken in ways that love can't fix. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is walk away. Even from family. Especially from family.